A very good afternoon to everyone and welcome to the University of Manchester Information Session, a career transforming experience. Thank you for joining us today. And wherever you are at this time, it could be at work, it could be at home, but the most important thing is you're all safe. That's what matters the most. My name is Josen, and I'll be your host. And yes, today is indeed a great day. We will learn about the real impact and benefits of an MBA from our panel of distinguished MBA alumni as they take you through their learning journeys. Our guest speakers have a very personal story to share about the impact of the MBA on their careers and their lives and how others could achieve similar success. I know you're excited because I'm excited too. But before that, I would like to begin and provide you introduction and take you for a trip in the greater city of Manchester. The city is known for its architecture, culture, musical exports, scientific and engineering output, social impact, sports clubs, and transport connections. Manchester is a city of notable firsts. In which in 1917 Ernest Rutherford changed the world when he split the atom in the university at the University of Manchester, a breakthrough which resulted into development of nuclear power as well as cancer fighting radiotherapy. Also with Manchester first is the Manchester baby. It's called the small scale experimental machine, the first electronic stored program computer that was built at the University of Manchester in 1948. By the way, this is the exact replica of the machine that can be seen at the Museum of Science and Industry in Manchester. I call this next slide the Wall of the Great Manchester, which shows you the people, the music, and the culture. On the top center, you can see the Manchester Museum displaying works of natural history and is owned by the University of Manchester. You can see this in Oxford Road campus. You can also see in the wall the great musical icons from 60s band Bee Gees, 80s Simply Red, and 90s famous rock band Oasis, which are all Manchester's best. In 1913 is another Manchester first during the suffragette movement, leading women for the right to vote in public election. Manchester is also the birthplace of industrial revolution and the discovery of graphene, a form of carbon and one of the strongest, lightest, and most conductive material known to humankind, which produced products like batteries, earbuds, and other sports equipments to name a few. At the center, you know him as Doctor Strange, also known as Benedict Cumberbatch, but before he joined the Avengers and saved the world, he is an alumnus of the University of Manchester. And of course, Manchester will always be the city of great sports club. You would know Manchester United and Manchester City, although they're not great now in standings, but I'm sure they'll bounce back. So much more about the city, the people, and the culture. Let's talk about now the university. The university have been making difference since 1824, the seventh oldest university in the UK and the oldest university in Manchester. The Manchester method focuses on applying theory through group work, projects, and practice-based learning, providing the best quality of education for almost 200 years now. Joint first established business school with 70 million building investment. We are ranked 45th globally, 11th in Europe, and 5th in the UK. MBA ranking of Financial Times in 2020. As of April 2020 this year, 100 Triple Crown accredited business schools with operations in 37 countries around the globe. And the University of Manchester is a part of the three largest and most influential business school accreditation organizations in the world. This is AACSB, AMBA, and of course, EQUIS. The University of Manchester has a rich academic history, home of the 25 Nobel Prize winners. Awards given from the 1900 till 2010. Nobel Prize in Physics, Chemistry, Medicine, and Economic Sciences. Here in the Middle East, we have been established in 2006 with 100 plus nationalities, 1,700 plus graduates, and supporting 2,800 plus students into the program. We offered program in MBA, Kelly Manchester Global MBA, and Masters in Educational Leadership and Practice, and also a Masters in Real Estate that starts in September. In 2019, the University of Manchester Middle East Center have been awarded the Best MBA Program by Forbes Higher Education Awards and awarded 5-star rating by KHDA on the Higher Education classification. We are the only UK business school with a presence in 6 global hubs. There's Singapore, Dubai, of course, Shanghai in China, Sao Paulo in Brazil, and of course, Manchester. All of our centers have strong links with the local business community, and we also have a global network of over 60,000 alumni spread across 169 countries. Now, without further ado, let's meet our panel of guests today. This is the Manchester MBA, a career transforming experience. Let's start off with our first guest. Zahi is a Chevrolet country manager at General Motors Middle East, UAE, Lebanon, Oman. Zahi has worked in the sales industry for 17 years, gaining experience in data, media, and automotive sales. In his alumni testimonial, he mentioned how the MBA not only helped him change his job, it changed his life and give the opportunity to advance in his career by moving to a leading multinational company as the sales business manager for the MENA region. The MBA program broadened his business thinking. His business decisions are not only based on sales perspective, but it integrates finance, accounting, marketing, operation, and much more. He graduated with merit from Alliance MBS in 2015 and has been the ambassador for the school in the university since 2017. Ladies and gentlemen, let's all welcome Zahi Chaar. Zahi, good afternoon.
Hi everyone. How are you, Jason? Good to see
Very
you
good,
all.
very good.
Even virtually.
There's going to be a lot of topics to discuss later on, Zahi. I'll come back to you later on. Thank you.
Sure.
Our next guest is the Managing Director of Investor DMCC. Firas is the alumni of the University of Manchester, who graduated with distinction. He is the founder of Investor DMCC, a Dubai company specialized in insurance innovations. He served as a CEO advisor and a senior regional project manager, utilizing his executive experience in bottom line turnaround and transformation management. He is known for his professional emphasis on strategy transformation, digital innovation, automation, and excellence with successful project portfolios across the Middle East, Europe, Singapore, and serving large organizations like Munich Re, SEHA. Firas is also an inspiring trainer of design thinking, PMP, and agile methodologies. Ladies and gentlemen, I'll bring you Firas Kabur. Firas, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Jason. Thank you for the introduction.
Absolutely, Firas, absolutely. Like what I said to Zahi, there's going to be a lot of topic to discuss later on, so please hang in there, all right?
I'll be happy to help. Yeah.
Thank you, Firas. Our next guest is Abdullah, and he has over 15 years of progressive, broad, and diverse professional experience in multinational high-tech industry. Abdullah currently is an accounts director at Dell Technologies, representing 7 different US companies like Dell, Dell MC, VMware, RSA, SecureWorks, VirtuStream, and Pivotal, and for a selected territory. Abdullah has a proven track record in high-tech sales coupled with a strong technical background. He managed to prove his ability in leveraging classical and OEM channel with the entire ecosystem partners. Abdullah's success came to his ability to work in a matrix managed situation with true people wins. Abdullah is an MBA engineering merit holder from MBS and has more than 35 plus technical certificates on IT domains and DBA science candidate at MBS. Please join me welcoming Abdullah Zaid Kelani. Abdullah, good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Thank you for giving me a chance to this beautiful one.
Absolutely, Abdullah. The pleasure is all ours, and I will come back to you in a while. Thank you. All right. Let us now go to our next slide. One moment, please. Once again, a very good afternoon to you, gentlemen, and thank you for joining us today, providing your expertise on a very interesting topic today, which is your MBA experience. And let me remind everyone tuning in today, please feel free to use the chat box for your questions to our guest panelists. We have a series of questions to ask, and there are questions, there's a lot of questions that some of our candidates would really want to know and answer coming from our alumni. So, we'll start now, and the first question goes to Zahi. Zahi?
Yep.
There you go, Zahi. The first question for you is hold on. When did you first see the benefits of the MBA, and what were they?
Well, it's a long story, but I'll try to keep it short. Actually, I was searching for a job a couple of years back, and I was jumping from a recruitment agency to another. Finally, I have landed in an interview with a senior old guy from a recruitment agency. He asked me one simple question. Zahi, tell me about your career path. What's your career roadmap? Where are you now? Where you want to go, and how you are planning to go there? So I told him that I'm working in a small company and I want to go for a multinational. So how I'm planning to get there is, getting some experience, applying for jobs, trying to excel in interviews. But apparently it was not the perfect answer for this. So I said, okay, let's assume that you are lucky today and I'm the HR director of a multinational, of your dream job. Yeah. I'll ask you one question. Tell me, how do you deal with changing business environment? We have a really serious challenges that our customers are changing their behaviors. How you can help us? You tell me. So I start saying, we'll try to listen, we'll try to do marketing, we'll try to do, so I blow it. To be honest, I blow it 100%. So he said, you know what, relax. You have one answer. You need an MBA. You know what? Because an MBA will help you develop the necessary skills to keep your company successful. That's it. As simple as that. So, not only any regular MBA, because you need an MBA from one of the top business schools around the world. Because in changing business environments, MBA will give you the tools to adapt to the unavoidable changes of industries, marketplace, the way of people do business. So you need these skills. Then later on during the MBA, I've come to learn, or I've experienced that it will force you to go out of your comfort zone. It will, every people will explore the latest management skills, trends, business trends, apply new management techniques. After the MBA, I've noticed that I really now can challenge myself. I can challenge my team. I can challenge my the whole environment where I'm now. See, guys, for all the attendees here, if you really plan to change your careers, but the industry evolve in a way that mess with your plan, what you are going to do? The skills that you will develop in MBA will really help you adapt, really adapt and find new directions, while everybody else will try to survive in harsh business environments. So this is mainly the benefits in general of uh, of the MBA, at least from my perspective.
Sorry for that, as I want to go back on the moment that uh, he told you that you need an MBA. How did you feel about that?
Yeah.
Was it a challenge? Became a challenge somehow, or was it like?
Yeah, because it's a slap in the face. I was preparing and dressing well, and I was so confident, and then tell me about how you can help us with the changing business environment, and what you are talking about. It was it was a really shock, but he was right. He was right, and then I went and applied for Manchester, and here I am now. So yeah, it's the tools. It's very simple. The MBA will help you develop the necessary tools to keep the company successful. That's it. As simple as that.
Thank you for that, Zahi. I'll come back to you later on. To you, Firas. I mean, my question to you, Firas, is Firas, how did you change personally and professionally as a result of your study experience? Firas?
Hi, Jason. So, well, the MBA that I did, it took 2 years time to complete, and I was doing it part-time. So I had my work in the morning, and then I do the MBA work in the weekends and after. The MBA in itself, it gives you the confidence once you have it in your CV that you can apply and cross above the glass ceiling that you have at work, because a lot of job descriptions require an MBA, and I'm sure a lot of our new joiners main goal is to have that door unlocked for them, because senior level positions, and if you want to do anything has to do with financials, always require your MBA. So having that in the first place, it gives you a room to explore new potential positions, and kind of have a different dialogue with different potential recruiters and managers in general, and in the market as well. So it starts from that. Aside the experience itself, the classrooms, the virtual projects, and having the different team that you work with also plays into developing your own character with the interactions that you have from people from different nationalities. People come from Singapore, from Manchester to Dubai, and then you take a course and you go to Singapore and you go to Manchester, and you see a completely different environment and different people and backgrounds that you interact with. I remember back in the days in my undergrad when we had a project, everybody in the team doing the project have the same background. Like, I'm an industrial engineer, so everybody else is an industrial engineer, and we speak the same exact vocabulary. In the MBA, and an MBA like Manchester with the international enrollment that it has, and the diversity in the background that you have, you'll have somebody who's experienced in accounting, other is a general manager, a commercial manager, doing with you. Somebody has a background of how the entire business environment in the East works, completely different how it works in the West, with different priorities, with aspect to, let's say, society or capitalism, or the company profit bottom line is the main, or the social impact is the main. And you get that conversation going within your projects and kind of enlighten you to areas that you haven't. Some conversations you live your life and you never exposed to it, but the fact that you get exposed to such conversations open your horizon and horizon to learn new things and new aspects about what's important. Also, to add to the bigger picture of how you see your job and you're part of an organization expands a lot, because thinking that you know everything that you know about the business from the seat of your office is not very accurate. There's the bigger picture. You need to know what the board of directors are thinking about, what the bottom line really says about the business that you do, how the different functions within the business interact with each other and interact with the external market. And the diversity of the courses that you take in the MBA gives you that insight throughout. And one little thing, it also gave me the confidence to open my own business after. So that's something also. There's a lot of contribution to having an MBA and the network that it built from the MBA as well to support me in opening my business back in April.
On a follow-up question to that, for us, how was the transition from an employee and now having your own business? Was that challenging, considering that the society back then, the challenge in terms of economical situation and stuff?
I'll be honest with you, it's uncharted waters for somebody who does it for the first time, and it's kind of like different waves every other month. However, if you do the setup right and you have like a transition plan of how you want to build the business with the security of the financials, the first contract matters, the perception of the company matters, the suppliers that you want to associate with. This all comes to play. There are different decisions that you need to make on different times, but it requires a lot of patience, and you have to have your own credibility and expert professionals that can trust your opinion, especially in a business like mine. But it's the one thing that changes a lot is the fact that you don't have a career ladder to follow anymore, especially if you're from a big organization. Okay. And we know how professional ladder dictates kind of like it gives you awareness and solid understanding of your seat. But when you go and you become the managing director of your own company, it's you don't have that, and that's not the parameter that you have anymore. And it's about where you are and where you're gonna go, and the responsibilities that you have of your employees and the quality of the project you're trying to deliver. It's kind of like a mind shift of what you used to throughout your 20 years experience. But I keep you posted how it develops. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, if you mentioned about the process, Firas, which is a good thing, by the way. At least people would understand that it's not that easy in moving forward in terms of your plan. So yeah, that's good. Good to know. Good to know, Firas. I will come back to you later on, Firas.
It's definitely not easy, and it's harder for startups, like technology-based startups, than it is for consultancy, I would say. And it requires a lot of confidence to be able to do it, and resilience. But I wouldn't have done it without an MBA. So that's for the question.
That's the whole point there. Thank you for that, Firas. Thank you, Abdullah. So for you, Abdullah, my question is that, did other people view you differently when you started your MBA? I'm sorry, Abdullah, there's a delay, I think. There's no, we can't.
Absolutely. I think this question is a bit need explanation. MBA is an important step.
Abdullah, my apology. I think we're having an audio error on your end. Can you try that again, please?
Okay, backup plan. Can you hear me now?
Yes, thank you. Yes, thank you.
Okay. Mainly, I can say that it is very important step to all individuals to whenever they join such a step, because that's not. I'm a direct point person. If I want to look at this it's an investment. Each of us, whenever they want to join an MBA, it's an investment, money investment. Especially in my case, I'm a father and I'm a husband and I have responsibilities to run. And when I'm joining an MBA, I'm expecting to get some type of ROI. This ROI, what it comes to me, what it will help me. Is it just a tick off box that it will be that I will get an MBA and I will share a CV? If personally, as Abdullah, if I was looking for this, then I would not join the MBA because I'm already in multinational. I took more of the, the majority of roles with different US vendors. Now, how people looks at me differently? Yes, in different ways. When I decided to take that role, I already said, I need to understand different domains. I was technical background. I am in sales. Still, we are in our domain. Technical is very important, despite we are a salespeople at the end. Everybody has a need to generate money at the end. And understanding, and we are meeting CXO levels whenever we are talking to the biggest entities in, let's say, in UAE, from all type of sectors. You need to try to understand the financial situations. You need to drill more on topics which are out of our comfortable zone. If someone similar to myself is a computer science bachelor, a programmer, who's trying to understand a P&L of a customer, an ROI, this is a totally different language. If I'm talking to a CEO or a CXO or a CTO, each person has his own discussion. We cannot go and talk technically because they won't understand. This is how people started to see, and the courses within MBS. When I joined, there are a lot of offerings in the market, and I was trying to see why I want to choose MBS rather than other universities. For me, it was I like two things. Mainly, I won't leave my work just to go and continue study. This is a fact for me. Because at the end, what's paid
بس فيك معاك
for that I need to work in parallel. This is the first thing. Second thing, I want to have better network and to have further relations. And from there, I started to build more confidence. If you are understanding what they are talking, understanding, and I can discuss and engage in all layers of engagement internally within the company and externally, this literally filled the gap. From my perspective, I have been promoted twice since I completed the MBA. Why? Because I can challenge. This is what we learn from MBS, the critical thinking, that we challenge. Why? Give your opinion. We in MBA, also in MBS, we've had multiple workshops. As my colleague mentioned, that we are coming from different backgrounds, which mean you need to cater those different groups. We are having workshops. I was luckily that I went to one of the batch who went to Shanghai as an example, and we visited many, I think 30 manufacturers, and we did even met their CEOs, and we discussed with them under the MBS program, and we did a complete study for them, and we advised them what to do. I went even to Manchester. We met to the customers. It gives you experience to cover internationally, and it's a great. This again, people look at me of someone who can trust, confident, talk, and still I'm not saying until now I'm growing. I'm personally, as you know, Jason, that I already accepted under the DBA program in MBS because my final degree, my project was one of the top rated in the school. And I like the concept that while I'm working, I'm willing to invest my time, my family time, my investment to continue my DBA program, which is a doctor business degree and science, and especially that I'm coming from engineering, someone talking to business. It is important. Apologies, I'm direct to heart. I'm trying to explain that MBA is not just a certificate. This is what I'm trying to help all the people who's listening to me. MBA as a degree, it helps you to think, it helps you to analyze and to choose. I choose each subject I took, I should implement it on ground. For me, if this not implemented, I'm not interested to know the knowledge. This is how I look at it. This is the beauty when you're talking to the top-notch doctors. I'm talking to professors from different backgrounds. My colleagues, they are unique on their jobs. You are talking, this is network, it's worth. I hope that I gave you different things, Joseph, but again, at the end, for me, it's an ROI, return of investment.
Thank you, Abdullah.
Investing in something, it needs to come back to me.
No worries. There's more questions coming from our end, Abdullah. And congratulations, by the way, on your DBA. It's such a good journey from your end. Congratulations.
Thank you.
I'll get back to you later on, Abdullah. Thank you. Our next question would go to Firas. Firas, how did the MBA teaching method work for you on the real world case studies and group work, the Manchester method?
Okay, so to explain maybe to the audience a little bit, there are different methods that Manchester follows in their courses and projects. They're the ones that you physically there in the classroom with everybody, and it's 1 week full, and you take off from work and you dedicate your life and brains during that week for the purpose of fulfilling the courses. And usually it's 3 or 4 courses that you have to fulfill, and each one has its own assignments and projects. You prepare before, but then you have to be in the class to actually do the work and learn from the professors that come from different countries. And then there's a project that you probably stay in the classroom till 1 or 2 a.m. try to finish it, and then you present it the next day and hope for the best. And there's the other remote projects where everything is done through the classes online, and then you have your team that virtually you communicate with, and you try to finalize and submit. There's the simulation course that takes a full year, so you are with the same team from entire year 1 per se, and every week there's something to do and back and forth that you have to do. So MBA, as always said about schooling, and it's very true in the MBA more than anything else, it's you benefit from it as much time you dedicate to it. Basically, the value of the MBA is not on a personal and knowledge level, is how much you dedicate yourself to learn about it. The material that you get from the course is one thing, but there's always the external readings that they give you, and there's the articles that you have to read to be relevant, to relate the theory to what's happening in the world right now. And usually the case studies are not more than 1 or 2 years old at the most, unless it's like something exceptional happened back in the days. So it's very relevant. So you study about what's happening with Netflix right now. You can study about the mobile industry and what the challenges are happening between them. You can learn the history of how Nash Equilibrium made one company win over the other and the mistakes that they did there. For the group work, it depends on your background and your expertise. If you are familiar with projects and you have always been part of a project, this gives you a very good opportunity to test your project management styles, as well as being part of a project. In your company and your current state, when you join a project, you are predefined within the limitation of your authority level as a position. And therefore, when you join a team, the expectation from you and your authority is dictated accordingly, and you work accordingly. So it doesn't allow you a lot of room to understand your deficiencies and your capabilities in being part of a team. However, in the MBA, considering that everybody comes from a different background and everybody is kind of like on the same level, you're all students in the course, you play different roles in different projects, and sometimes you're the project manager, sometimes you're the expertise, and sometimes you are the labor work, and sometimes you are the one that tries to get all the fights out of the way so you can deliver. And then you can actually see the life of the group coming together, and the 4 steps of a group that hopefully ends up in performing at the very end. So you get to test that, and you get to build yourself as a better team member. and it's really I don't know how to explain in details how it works, but within yourself you'll understand why you do wrong in a project and how you could deal with people differently, and you come out of with so many projects coming in and so many times you do this. By the end of the 2 years you become a more collaborative uh, person, even if you are one of those who like to do all the job themselves and they don't trust anybody else and you're always smarter than everybody in the room. You still can achieve much more once you understand how the collaborations works with everybody else in the group. And that's something you don't learn from a book. It's something you have to experience and do over and over again. So that's one aspect. But most of the study cases, if you are anything like me, they're very enjoyable, and you definitely want to learn more about it than what's written in the 3 or 4 or 5 pages that you receive. So you end up going to YouTube and watching the actual CEO speaking at that time when this happened and that happened. You go to Wikipedia to understand what other people has to say about the topic, and if there's any aspects that you need to cover. And the conversations within the class are very inspiring and sometimes intriguing, and get you to answer from a different perspective. Some people can support a side of the story and you support the other side of the story, and that conversation happening in the class, it's kind of what the learning experience is all about. I hope I answered the question.
Absolutely, for us. I just have a follow-up question for us. A lot of people, especially those people, there's candidates asking us about how's the workshop? How was it? I mean, how is that? Is it really that challenging? Is it fun? I mean, can you just give us some sort of an insight about your opinion of workshop and how this really helpful for you in your journey of your MBA?
Okay, so the first semester completely different than the last semester for how you actually interact with how you prepare and interact with the workshop. But it always starts with coffee with everybody doesn't really know what's coming, and then you come in and you find your new group and you get to know each other. And after that, you need to listen, and like you have the professor to guide you through it, exactly what is needed to be learned. And then let's say you learn the first part, the first 4 hours, and then there's an exercise on what you learned, and then the second exercise builds on the first exercise, and then you have something to read at home, and then prepare something that adds to the exercise. And by the end of the third day, let's say for the course, if the course is 3 days, you have this big project that everybody has to put whatever they developed into the one big project. And then that's where you get a chance to explore what people did for the projects, which parts you actually learned, which part you missed out. And there's always this tough part that you need to reread again in order to to be able to complete the project and present it. The presentation is fun altogether. You get to see other people's work. You get to ask questions about it. People get to ask you questions about what you have achieved. And there's fun ways to present that you get to choose which way you want to do it. It's either everybody presents or one person presents and the others answer the questions. It depends. Different courses are, and some courses are it depends if you are a number guy, you might like some courses better than others and you interact with them better. If you like the marketing aspect of a business, you'll find the different courses more attractive to you than others. And this is how we grow from where we are. Yeah?
Thank you for that, for us. Thank you for that. More questions for you later on. Thank you. Now, going back to you, Abdullah, I can see, by the way, a lot of questions in our question box, and we will try to come back as much as we can later on. Don't worry about that. I can see a lot of questions coming in right now, but we will try to answer them as much as we can. Abdullah, for you,
Yes.
the question is that the part-time blended learning route is challenging. How did you manage your time and ensure you keep your career on track? You mentioned a while back you're a father, you're a busy man. How did you manage to do all of these things?
See, the trick, and this is the first hard lesson I took it. It's time management. I think again, it's investment, time investment. We are leaving our kids and as my responsibility as a father to learn and to enhance my skills, which at the end will end up to better results for the entire family. This is how I look at it. Time management is a key. And I noticed some of my colleagues, they were in rush to finish courses, which is, I was against that style personally. Again, some people have their own circumstances. From my personal review, I took 3 years till I completed my MBA program because I want to spend enough time on the subject, because what the model is that the school in the beginning of each semester, they ship you from Singapore, as I remember the books, as in each subject, and that book you start to preparation. Now there will be a virtual workshop, there is the physical workshop, and my days in the beginning there were exams and some modules, and some are pure, all of them are thesis based. And when I joined the program, it was difficult. The first semester, as my colleague mentioned, it was the most difficult one, because I need to understand how we do a proper thesis of submission, how we understand all the trends of how to write, how to explain what we need. This really took time. Now after that, I started to learn how to search fast, how to get the knowledge fast, which helped me to optimize my time faster. Believe me, I did most of my homeworks of my last year was on plane while I'm traveling to US or Canada. This 17 hours, it's a heaven for me, that I'm disconnected, just doing my homeworks. It was amazing, this connection. I can tell you within those 3 years, all my vacations I dedicate time to read, and to it's a complete time management. This is how I did it, and it's very important again for whoever who have families to explain to your partner what you are doing, because they are part of it. So even if you are happy or not, they are part of it. You are taking from their own time, from your time, from your kids' time to study. For that, you need, and the family, each member need to understand this. Now there is the fun part when I told you when traveling with colleagues. It is fun part, despite that this workshop time when meetings other groups, it is really adding value to the experience and knowledge and even relation. Again, it's excellent from experience perspective. Mainly time management, be transparent with your family, have a time. Again, I was not my work, I think it took 15 days in the entire year, almost. If I want to count my vacations, it was almost 15 days, give and take.
Abdullah, I lost you. I lost your mic, Abdullah.
Hello, can you hear me?
There you go. Yes, go ahead.
Yeah. In normal days, in normal companies, they usually give 20 or 21 working days. Now,
yeah. 21 working days. Now you are losing around 15 days out of that as a time management to continue your MBA, which is great. You are not resigning, you are not leaving your job. I hope that I answered. Apologies, I have multiple things happen on the connection side.
Abdullah, I have a follow-up question. Okay, we're echoing there. You mentioned about family, and I think this is what we always advise all our candidates, that you really have to make your family be involved in your decision, because this is a big decision. We're talking about a very big responsibility, going back to school, of course, taking care of the family, working. I mean, how is that? How did you start with them about that I'm going to go back to school, and stuff like that? How difficult, or I would say how easy were you able to do this, Abdullah?
Yes.
I was muted. Hello, can you hear me, guys? Yeah, I was saying that I did something which helped us. I convinced my wife to continue her master degree. This is how we did a trade-off, which it was interesting to. It is an interesting experience, and she was convinced, and she completed her master degree. Kids, they already understand it, and we were compensating that with them. We can agree that, okay, we are going to Manchester campus, let's go and take a vacation to London. When we want US, Washington, my day in the beginning, and in Miami, again, it's like a trade-off. We are trading off time of studying, and the other one is for family pleasure. Now, another thing which people might think, and now it's catch to my mind, that I was gaining the time which, you know, this Friday time, which in the morning most of us will go sleep, and after we go out on Thursday in the weekend in Dubai. I'm based in Dubai. Usually the off days are on Friday and Saturday, and that time which some people are not using, I'm really sparing that time. Those slots, you start to appreciate that time slots, which you sometimes we just relax, nothing, do anything. You start to feel that, no, I need to gain time and we need to do it. Is it clear? My strategy was clear.
That was a really good strategy. Thank you for sharing. If that's a good tip you just said right now, thank you for that. And I'm going to ask another more questions later on, Abdullah. Thank you. Next question goes to Zahi. Zahi, did you have a clear idea of what career goals or changes you wanted to achieve before you started your MBA? Zahi, you're on mute. Hold on, Zahi, I can't hear you.
Yeah.
There you go.
You muted me. I was trying to unmute myself.
Actually fixed it now. Go ahead, please.
It's okay. It's okay. Did you have a clear idea of what career goals? No. To be honest, no. No. I had an idea, but not a clear idea. I just wanted to go out of my small company and go for a multinational. That's it. This is the thing that I wanted to do. But the things started to get more clearer day after day, course after course. So, for example, when we took the economy course or the finance course, I've come to learn that I'm missing a lot. There are a lot of things that I need to earn, to know, to experience. So can I be able to achieve my goal? So things start to be more clearer while we pass through the courses, but not before, to be honest. The only thing that I was thinking of is to go for a new job, a new position, get more better salary and so on. That's normal. So that's it.
A lot of people are thinking, Zahi, before doing the MBA, they want to continue climbing out on the corporate ladder. Some of them, they want to put up their own business. They have different goals in mind. But you, in specific, was it like your focus mainly is just to really climb on the corporate ladder, which apparently you did now?
Yep.
You're a country manager, and that was like a huge thing. I mean, was that a plan somehow? I mean, you know what? Let me just do corporate, and I don't want to think about business like Firas did. But what is your insight about that?
There was no clear roadmap to the career in general. But however, When I started my job in General Motors, I was doing exactly 100% of one of the courses, the logistics course that I think Firas was talking about, the operation where the simulation game where we used to do to manage the production of a factory. That's exactly what I was doing in General Motors, and the course helped me a lot in managing the production and Excel. And this is what it's all about. You know, sometimes you've been lucky, or you get lucky and you pass an interview, or somebody from your network just give you a chance to enter in a company. However, you need at the end of the day to prove yourself, right? You need to shine inside. You need to prove that you earn this position that they gave you. So it's not about only luck or passing the interview. It's about your own capability and how you prove that you can and you will be a good value for the company. So things started to be clearer and clearer by the day, but not before, to be honest. No, not before.
Thank you. Thank you for that, Zahi. Thank you for that. And let me ask you your last question later on. Thank you. I'll get back to you. Abdullah, let me come back to you again.
Yes.
And then this is somehow related to the question to Zahi a while back. Did you have any specific learning or development goals for the MBA?
See, yes, goals for the MBA. I would say goals when I took the MBA, it was a planned step. It helps, and I'm a planner person, which I can tell you where I should be within 5 to 10 years. I'm a bit even to 15 years, what we call it in the master, we say the strategic staircase theory. I think my colleagues will know it immediately. Actually, I have one for myself. I'm doing it before joining the MBA, and I think I'm on track to that step. It helps. Again, my colleagues explain a lot. The use cases are beautiful. Catching the latest stories, latest trends, latest cases from all globally. For that, and even you can discuss with the tutor and the latest topics, and even the colleagues when you are measured with the people like based in Manchester who are in the campus. You are measuring your knowledge with them. You are double checking your info. Now, as a personal goal for me, as a specific learning, I think it is brilliant. Whoever designed this program, that doesn't. I should not, and they are practical. They should not leave their jobs to continue study. I believe that both should proceed in the same time. Especially for high-skilled people, employees, we cannot. And I think it's part of mistake based of our skills and our experience on the field to stop. And having a blended program is excellent because it's not an online course. I need the interface. And a lot, specifically after the COVID and pandemic situation, we are running 100% from homes. And imagine if I didn't have the experience to run a team on my final project. In my final project, we were 4 individuals. I remember a person, it was from pharmaceutical point of view. Another person was engineering, civil, which is not related to our domain. And talking in such a difficult situation, and we managed to success, it helps. This is why now, as soon I'm touching anything now, as I explained, strategic staircase. It helped me to promote. I'm not yet done. And it opened and encouraged me. And by the way, maybe a lot of people who are in Middle East, we are familiar with something called PhD, not DBA. And it was new to me when I got to know that, okay, what's the difference between PhD and DBA? And why MBA opened for me this? And then I discovered that the PhD is different, that people who are looking for theoretical background, while DBA is just to continue a master degree. If you continue with the MBS, it will help you to continue on research perspective, applying the theory on field. This is how I saw the value. I think it's a great program. They are one of my challenges on my time. It was 2.5 years and 3 years. Now I understood it became 2 years program. I think this is one of the comments was on the program itself, but clearly the team fixed this one because some people were complaining on the length, but now I think it's solved. For me, I was enjoying it. I'm trying again to enjoy, to gain the maximum as we can. My wishes to my all professors. They are great and really pleasure to teach from them. You know, they are Malcolm, Cassandra. You know, I can name the name. They are still on my mind. My colleagues would share the same, but it is a learning. If you not, yeah, my advice to any student: if you are joining an MBA for the sake of MBA, don't take it. If you are taking to learn, to think, to have critical thinking, to change on yourself, and to have more ambitious, take it. This is how I can summarize it. I hope that I answered you, Johnson. And
Well said, Abdullah. Well said, Abdullah. Thank you. And I want to highlight the photos at your back. I think those are graduation pics, right?
Yes, they are from Manchester. Yes, they are from Manchester. I was luckily, Johnson, as you know, even my mother, she passed away. She's already an PhD holder from Manchester a long time back in 2001. And everybody, and from that days, I was going to Manchester and always impressed with the model, educational model of the school. Clearly, it's credited everywhere. Important thing, Johnson, before I'm ending, in Dell and those multinational, you are competing against the best on the world on CV perspective, forever who are applying for jobs. Degrees, it is very important. Whenever you are introducing yourself, from which school, decent school, what you are doing, it is important. It gives you advantage against your competitors from applying for a job. Having the MBS helped me from that perspective, gave me another rebranding of the degree level. It is a very important step of rebranding each person, and this is one of the courses you will take, having your own personal image, your own brand. If you are building your own proper brand, it will help you to excel everywhere. I hope that I cover all the points, Joseph.
Absolutely, you did. Absolutely. Thank you, Abdullah. And I'm sure your mom is so proud of you. You're following the same footsteps as she did.
Thank you.
Congratulations to you in advance for the DBA,
Thank you.
Abdullah. I'll come back for you with the random questions later. Thank you, Abdullah.
Thank you.
All right. Now let's go to our next question to Zahi. I think, Zahi, this is, I would say, the most asked questions, particularly when it comes to network. And I'm sure being one of the ambassadors of the University of Manchester, you could really give us some insight about this. Has the MBA student alumni network been of value to you particularly?
100%. 100%. And to be honest, on the personal level and professional level, both. Because we have really the best of the best in the alumni. The alumni is so active. The team in Manchester are always in contact with us, always doing some gatherings, some activities here and there. Plus, on the professional level, I did a lot of business deals with other multinationals because of the alumni. So I was calling the guys in, let's say, General Electric, and we have a lot of people in General Electric saying that, guys, come, let's do business together. We understand each other's, we can create value for each other's, and we are both in the same alumni. Why not? And by the way, we did maybe 2 or 3 deals during an MBS alumni gathering. So this is on the professional level. On the personal level, a lot of people helped me with banks, with other companies on the personal level because of the alumni. The alumni is strong. Again, we are meeting frequently. MBS team are really excellent. I can say excellent, absolutely fantastic. So yeah, the alumni network has been a great value for me.
Thank you. And to follow up to that, Zahi, in terms of the career coaching that the Manchester is providing to our candidates, to our students, was that also helpful on your end? I mean, in terms of your journey, was it that somehow helpful?
True. Yeah, it was extremely helpful because as Abdullah and Firas said, it's about continuity. The MBA will not end by the end of the course. You'll keep learning. You'll keep in touch with alumni people. You'll keep in touch with the university as well, with the team. We keep getting invitation for webinars, for courses. They provided a lot of value for us. For example, Malcolm Smith, the negotiation genius in Manchester, they offered us as General Motors to come and get a free course for all the people. So yes, it's a long journey that started with the first day of the course, but will never end.
Thank you, Zahi. Thank you for sharing. And I'll be having another question later on as we conclude the night. Thank you, Zahi. Firas? Firas, my question to you is that what elements of the MBA made the most impact on you? Is it faculty, workshops, peers, electives, or anything you have in mind?
It's a tricky question altogether. I mean, they all have their own impact in different ways. The everlasting one is the peers, of course. I mean, as Zahi just mentioned, the network that you come up with is a network for life. And between the WhatsApp groups, the LinkedIn connections, the different events that you plan and meet every month or every week. Sometimes I travel to a country and I just message who's from this country here, and we meet up. Like you have people in different country and you have people in different industries as well. If you want to explore, so you're about to send a tender for a marketing, they're your first go-to per se to guide you through it, especially in their expertise. So that lasts for good. If you're single, that might be an opportunity to find a wifey, I guess. The faculty is amazing and inspiring for sure. They bring their long life expertise, and they can tell you how it used to be in the 70s, and they can still tell you how it's going to be 10 years from now as well. They have their different techniques of teaching, and a lot of them are like, we still remember the exams that they give and the way they actually presented it. The electives present you a focus of what do you like to grow in. And one of the most recommended courses that anybody took the MBA would tell you is the negotiation skills course, as this is definitely useful for every aspect of life. So that's one of the selectives you can do. But you can also do something that has to do with innovations and startups. If you're about to start your own business, you can take courses on a higher level of accounting if you want to know how companies are evaluated and stuff like that. So you can choose something very specific you want to learn about, or you can choose something that actually enriches who you are and how you perform on a personal level as well. The unique thing about Manchester is that it offers its selectives in different countries as well. So I took one in Singapore and took the second one in Manchester. And I had the chance to see Singapore for the first time, and through the eyes of the people who live there, because they took me around and took care of me, and they're friends right now. And
nice.
in Manchester, we had a good gathering. I mean, a lot of people came from Dubai, but we also had the people in Manchester as well. And the campus is beautiful, and everybody treated us with a lot of welcome, and we get to see the city. And for a while, I stayed there for like 21 days. It was a very good time over there. It's memories for the life to come. Well,
So Firas, would you say, Firas, that the mixture of the local network and the global network gives a lot of good aspects in terms of your journey? Because you did workshops in Dubai during the first year. The following year, you went to Singapore and Manchester. How was that helpful? You know, meeting different people with different culture, different beliefs. You know, how was that helpful for you?
You know, it's on different levels. It helps you, like knowing somebody in a different country to start with, like people who probably Dubai people know this more than anybody else, considering how many nationalities live in Dubai. But having that kind of exposure, and you have a friend there, not only when you visit, but even if you do business, you're trying to understand something about that environment. And in a WhatsApp, you can find out everything that you need to find out about it. Like that accessibility and easiness of to other countries and cultures is very useful from becoming a local to a global participant in the business and living your life. I mean, some of my vacations were planned because I have friends in different countries, so that also plays a big part.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you, Firas. I appreciate that.
I can
Stay
talk
on the
about this
camera,
for
Firas.
forever. Like it's 2 years and what followed, so there's a lot of good experiences there and good memories.
It's good to hear. Good to hear, Firas. Just stay online with me, Firas. I would like to invite over Zahi now and Abdullah to join us.
Okay.
We received a lot of questions, but unfortunately, we don't have much time anymore. But we will come back by calling you on the counseling part if you wish to know more information about the MBA. Again, I would like to thank our panel of guests. But before you go, I would like to ask you a question. I would say the last parting words, if you may, starting off with Abdullah. What would be your advice, Abdullah, to aspiring candidates who wishes to do an MBA, follow your footsteps, being successful?
My advice to a student who's following who's joining an MBA, enjoy it. I feel that I need, after graduation, everybody will do his best to graduate and to get the mark. But after I graduate, I said, okay, no more strategic management course. Because even my colleagues here, they are laughing because that's one of the beautiful courses for me, honestly. And it was very nice course. Even my colleagues mentioned the operation. They reminded me with the drinking theory as example. Really helps you to think in a different way. It changed your life, how to carry things up, helps you from social perspective. Even my colleagues, and I want to send my wishes to Hiba Abbasi. For me, she always send us as an alumni on how to events, parties. Even we go as a couples and enjoy the network activities. Really very high touch parties they do it when we saw the colleagues, and I hope soon COVID will finish and we can see each other physically. Long story short, again, personally, I'm not selling here. We are not saying things just because you are hearing us. I'm more than happy if anybody want to reach me personally, I'm more than happy to advise. You will enjoy it. The course which you don't have time for it, push it for later. Get the maximum benefit on it, because if you couldn't read on it, you will never read it. If there is any topic which you don't have time for it and you said, okay, I will read it for later, be sure you will not touch it. But take the advantage that the school is pushing you to read something which can help you. In the example which I gave in strategic management, every day since 3 years, I'm presenting in my presentations the strategic course. Literally, if my tutor, my doctor, saw what I'm presenting, he would think that I'm copying what I got from the school. And everybody, they keep calling me Mr. Spider Analysis. Everybody. It will help and it will increase the career growth.
Thank you, Abdullah. Firas, any advice for our future MBA graduate like you? Firas?
Well, simple advice: do it. It's worth it. You will enjoy the experience. Make sure you arrange your time accordingly, because it will require some capacity, and some weeks you will have no time to do anything else. And come to it with an open heart. Like, it's a new experience, new people, new everything. It does change your life and priorities. And if you are in some sort of stuck socially and career-wise, having the MBA will give you like a ground to breathe and grow.
Thank you, Firas. Appreciate that kind words. Zahi, any parting words to our future students
Yeah,
at Manchester?
well, as Abdullah and Firas said, you need to have balance first, because balancing the time between your current job, your personal life, and your study. This is something it needs commitment. People need to commit from day one. If you are not able to commit, don't go through it. If you are not going to enjoy it, don't go through it. There is a proverb that says that sometimes we go with the wind, sometimes we go against it. We need to keep going in all cases, because the guys, calm seas will not make skillful sailors. So go for it. Have the commitment, have the enjoyment. It's worth it. It's worth every single penny, every single moment. Go for it, guys. That's it.
And always ask your companies if they can finance part of it.
Of course, that's really helpful. Abdullah, you want to say something?
Smart one. Smart one. You know something? It's maybe people will get advantage what I did. Part of the way to put the commitment that I pay the fees upfront. When I pay the fees, I want to study. This is one of the ways how I pay the money. I will not throw the money on the trash. I'm committed. I will study. This is personally. I don't recommend everybody to do it, but this is how I push myself. If I keep delaying, if you keep delaying, you will never start. As soon you do the first transaction, you pay it from your own money, from your efforts, that you find the credit card deducted, you will study. This is the easiest way to summarize it.
You heard it. You heard it from the expert. Thank you so much, Firas, Abdullah, and Zahi. It's been a pleasure. You guys are fantastic. Thank you so much for sharing your insights. I'm sure a lot of people watching now, tuning in right now, have somehow a good insight about their plan in moving forward towards the MBA. A pleasure, guys. Thank you so much, and thank you for this evening. That concludes our special event today. I would like to thank again our guest for today, Zahi, Firas, Abdullah. Please feel free to visit our website, www.manchester.ac.ae. You will find it very helpful. You can download brochure, request for a callback, and speak to us, your program advisor, and let us help you towards your plan on your educational journey. You can also follow us on our social media platforms, LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. Once again, thank you to our alumni guest panelists today, Firas, Abdullah, and Zahi. And for all of you who have tuned in today, thank you for joining us, and always be safe. Have a great evening. We'll see you around. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.